Vacations are meant to be a time where you can just kick back and relax. You can forget about any stress and just enjoy your surroundings. However, not all vacations are like that. Some end in tragedy and the vacationers never make it back home. Hey everyone, what's up and welcome back to Most Amazing Top 10. I'm your host, Lindsay Ivan, and today I'm bringing you the top 10 scary times people disappeared on vacation. Starting off this countdown, we have Leo Whidicker. 86-year-old Leo Whidicker was enjoying his time relaxing with his wife at a resort in Costa Rica. On August 11, 2001, Leo nodded off on a bench at the resort while his wife took a dip in the hot springs close by. 30 minutes later, when she returned, Leo was gone and never seen again. According to witnesses, they said that when Leo woke up, he was confused and disoriented. Hotel workers remember him asking if anyone knew where his wife was. Then a few minutes later, he asked the resort guards to let him out. He was last seen wandering down the road in the rain. His family believes that he was picked up by someone who saw him walking, whereas others believe he fell off the road's steep hillside. Moving on at number 9, we have the Death Valley Germans. The Death Valley Germans was the name given to a family of 4 German tourists who went missing in Death Valley National Park. On July 23, 1996, the family disappeared. Their car was found locked in the valley with all of their belongings inside. The car had 4 flat tires. It's thought that maybe they were trying to take a shortcut to Yosemite National Park through the valley and then faced several difficulties and ended up passing away from exposure to the elements. In 2009, some bones of 2 adults were found, but it was never revealed if it was a match. In our 8th spot, we have the Island Troubles. 43-year-old Allison McKenzie went missing on January 8th of 2020 while on a catamaran tour in Rendezvous Key, Belize. She arrived on the small island Friday night, and by Saturday morning she had disappeared from her tent. Now, here's the thing. No one lives on the island, it's just used for trips like this one. So it's thought that someone on the tour, like a tourist or employee, was responsible for her disappearance. Whereas others believe that she may have gone on a late night swim and then drowned. Her 2 daughters remain devastated and hope that they can receive answers soon as to what happened to their mom. In our 7th spot, we have the hunting trip. On September 5, 2009, Mel Nadil was out on a hunting trip in the Santa Fe National Forest with his friends. On that day, he told his friends that he was going to travel out a bit further, but he would be back before nightfall. That night, he never returned. He left his Jeep near the campsite with most of his gear locked inside, including his backpack, phone, and a GPS unit. But it's weird because it said that he normally carries his GPS with him. Dogs ended up tracing his scent 50 yards from the camp until the scent just disappeared, as if he just vanished into thin air. It was thought he may have been attacked by a wild animal, such as a bear, but there was no blood or torn clothing found. Now here's another thing. Investigators found a new pair of woman's pants in his Jeep at the hunting camp, making them believe that he ran off with a woman. But his wife claims that he liked his pants to fit tight, so they were probably his. I just wish that we had answers. Coming in at number 6, we have the cruise ship couple. On May 12, 2005, Hugh Pham and Hugh Tran went missing on a cruise ship on the Caribbean seas. They went on this trip as a Mother's Day gift, but sadly it took a dark turn. All that was left behind by the couple was their flip-flops found on the deck. Now, it was presumed that the couple committed suicide, but there's no evidence to prove that. In fact, family members reported saying that they were in good health and that they were happy on this trip. When the pair went missing, the crew waited 4 hours before notifying the US Coast Guards. The family is convinced that this was done to allow the ship to further distance itself from the location where they went missing. It seemed like the cruise ship was only concerned about keeping their reputation. It's very frustrating. Their poor family never got any answers as to what happened to them. We're now at our 5th and halfway mark with Tifan Veron. On July 29, 2018, 36-year-old French tourist Tifan Veron disappeared while on vacation in Nikko, Japan. She was traveling alone, but had thoroughly planned her trip for months. While on vacation, she sent her family and friends photos every day, until one day they just stopped. On July 29, 2018, Tifan went out to Nikko Forest and never returned. Upon searching the mountains and rivers, police found nothing, no personal belongings, and no body. This case was very hard to solve for numerous reasons. One, the family found it hard to work with Japanese policemen since they didn't speak Japanese, and they needed an interpreter, which was expensive. Two, her room had been cleaned and re-rented to someone else, so they couldn't search it for clues. And three, it said that she connected to the internet with her phone at 10:34 on the day of her disappearance, but police have no access to geolocalization because the telephone operator won't give them the records. No evidence has been found, so we still don't know what happened to her. Making our way down the list at number 4, we have LARS MITTANK. This is a very famous and mysterious unsolved case. If you are a mystery junkie like me, then chances are you have seen the weird and unexplainable CCTV footage from this case. The footage shows LARS running out of Varna Airport in Bulgaria, climbing over a fence, and disappearing into the forest. He was never seen again. The 28-year-old German was scheduled to travel back home with his friends. However, he was told he was unable to because of a ruptured eardrum. His eardrum was ruptured after getting into a bar fight during his trip. But no one knows why he fled the airport like that. He left behind a bag containing his wallet, passport, and phone. A couple days prior, he exhibited paranoid type behavior as caught on his hotel's security cameras. He even phoned his mom and in a whisper told her that 4 men were going to come and kill him and that she should cancel his credit cards. Now, some people think that Lars' behavior is a result from his ear injury and maybe he had suffered from a brain injury as well. Also, the antibiotics that he was on may have had side effects that caused him to become more paranoid, whereas others believe he was a drug mule and wanted by criminals. But to this day, this case remains a huge, bizarre mystery. In our third spot, we have the missing nun. On July 6, 2016, a Catholic nun, Sister Eileen Christie, went missing while vacationing in Austria. During her vacation, she kept in contact with her nephew via email. The last email she sent told him that she had checked into her hostel. Shortly after, she disappeared. Authorities were contacted after she failed to return any emails for a week. Now, here's where it gets strange. Upon searching her room, authorities noticed that most of her belongings, like her passport, cell phone, and wallet, were left behind. But one of the only missing items from her room was a swimsuit. This has led them to believe that she might have drowned while taking a swim. However, she was a strong swimmer. She swam frequently during her travels. She also was familiar with this area of Austria. Due to her familiarity with the village, it made authorities believe that she was kidnapped, but we still don't truly know. In our second spot, we have the Panama hikers. Chris Kremers and Lizanne Froon were young Dutch tourists excited for their trip to Panama. In fact, they spent 6 months planning this trip. On April 1st, 2014, the two went on a hike in the Panamanian jungle, but sadly, they never made it back home. The host family alerted the authorities and an aerial search of the forest was done. Searches were conducted for weeks, but the girls were nowhere to be found. Eventually, their blue backpack was found along the banks of a river. In the backpack contained Lizanne's passport along with other personal belongings. Most importantly, they found their camera and cell phones, which contained all the clues. It was revealed that 77 attempts were made to call the police. The photos on the camera revealed the most heartbreaking evidence. It started off with the girls taking normal photos showing them being excited about their trip. The next set of photos were taken in the dead of night on April 8th. Some were just random photos like showing their surroundings. Others were photos of the back of Chris's head, showing blood dripping down from her temple. It was theorized that they used their camera's flash as a source of light. Others theorized that Lizanne was taking photos to document Chris's injuries and their location. 2 months later, a pelvic bone and a foot still inside a boot were found. Then, the bones of both the women were discovered. Some say they died after getting lost in the jungle. Others theorized that they were murdered and the killer deliberately took the photos and made the phone calls to make it seem like they got lost. And in our number 1 spot, we have NATALEE Holloway. The disappearance of NATALEE Holloway is the most famous case of all of Aruba's missing persons. NATALEE was a senior on a school trip in Aruba in May of 2005. On the last day of their trip, NATALEE and her friends went out to local bars. They were seen hanging out with 3 young men. NATALEE was last seen that night of May 30th. She never returned to her hotel room. It said that she drove off with a group of local men, all of which were arrested multiple times for NATALEE's kidnapping and possible murder, but were never convicted. Out of these group of men, one named Jeroen van der Sloot was the primary suspect. In 2008, while under the influence, van der Sloot said that Natalee had died the morning after her disappearance, and that his friend disposed of her body. He later denied this. But his friend came forward and said that van der Sloot paid him $1,500 to dig up Natalee's remains and cremate them with a bunch of animal bones. Sadly, the family never received any closure as to what truly happened to Natalee. And that's all for today's video. Let's move on to our comment shoutout portion. I'll be shouting out comments for my video, Top 10 Scary Reasons You Shouldn't Mess with an Ouija Board. Amber Foster commented, I have seen enough horror movies not to play with an Ouija board. It's true, good call, please don't. It always ends badly. Phoenix Grayson commented, the scariest thing about Ouija boards are that they were made for kids. For kids! Honestly, how on earth is this a kid's toy? Like, whose idea was that? Yo, no, it's fun, let little Jimmy contact a spirit, it's all fun. No. Roberta Henley commented, I don't think I have ever played an Ouija board in my life before, and I don't think I ever will. Yes. Thank you. That's a good decision. Let's keep it that way. And that's all the comments I'm shouting out for today's video. Make sure to comment something down below for a chance to be featured in my next comment shout out. And as always, don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe to Most Amazing Top 10 for more amazing videos. I've been your host, Lindsay Ivan, and I'll see you when I see you.